What is going on, everybody? And yes, 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 yes. Thank God. Howie Roseman finally makes a move that helps this defense. He makes a move that helps this team immensely. He adds a person in the NFL that can change any defense no matter where you put him. Eagles do a trade for cornerback Darius Slay. And I am so happy. And finally. I've been waiting for a move all season since free agency has started, and now it's finally it finally came. We made a big move. We got Darius Slay. We didn't give up too much to get him. We traded the 3rd and 5th round pick from this year's draft. We still have 8 picks left, so I'm not really too worried about draft picks right now. We didn't give up our first. We didn't give up our second. So there's really nothing to worry about right now. But, man, Darius Slay, this trade has been in the works since the trade deadline in October. I mean, we've been wanting to get Darius Slay for months now. And the day has finally come that we do get the number one, cornerback that we've been looking for a long time now. So you get Darius Slay. Not only do you get Darius Slay, but you also extend his contract for another 3 years. $50 million, 3-year deal, $30 million is guaranteed. I'm okay with it. He's 29 years old. We have him until he's 34 because his contract doesn't start until after this season. So I'm not really too worried about it. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler, a 1-time All-Pro. He was an All-Pro in 2017 when he led. I'm pretty sure he led the NFL in interceptions with 8. I mean, he had a little bit of a down year last season. He had 2 interceptions, and it wasn't like a great year for him. But when we played Detroit in Week 3, he killed us. I'm pretty sure he got a fumble recovery, and he was absolutely locking down whoever the best receiver was at the time. I don't even remember. Probably Aguilar, who even still scored 2 touchdowns that game. And the only reason why I remember that is because I was there. So, with Darius Slay, it really does give a big load off of the cornerbacks and the secondary for the time being. I still think we need 1 or 2 more guys in the secondary because I don't know how I feel about Jalen Mills being a safety. I really don't know how I feel about that. But, Will Parks has been a name that's been thrown around a lot around the Eagles. He's 26 years old. I would definitely either sign or trade him or whatever you got to do to get him. I would definitely do that. Will Parks, he was expected to go to Detroit, or it was between us and Detroit. That's who was supposed to be in the works of getting him. Well, Detroit just signed Desmond Trufant, and obviously we signed Darius Slay. But do I trust our secondary still? I don't know if I do. We really got killed last year with the secondary, and especially the cornerbacks on the deep ball. But one thing with Darius Slay is he's one of the lockdown corners, and he's one of the best. Probably a top 5 lockdown corner in the league. I believe he's a top 5 corner in the league. I thought that before the Eagles got him, obviously. But, in 6,080 snaps or something like that, throughout his career, for all of his snaps that he's played, he has allowed 2 50-yard catches on him. I think Diggs had 2 50-yard touchdown catches last season against us, if not 3. So, it's really big getting a lockdown corner like Darius Slay, a big-name corner, somebody that can lock up a guy like Amari Cooper, someone that can lock up a guy like Terry McLaurin or Sterling Shepard. So now that you have Darius Slay, you pretty much have the number 1 wide receiver in your division locked. Cooper, McLaurin, and Shepard. It's not going to be a walk in the park for them like it was last year. Our number one corner last year was Ronald Darby, and he's not a number one cornerback in this league. He's not. He wasn't when he was in Buffalo, when Stephon Gilmore was the number one. He wasn't, when Patrick Robinson was on the team, he wasn't the number one. He was never the number one. He should have never been the number one. And the fact that he was last year, it really put a dent into this defense. And you could see it because the secondary got toasted every time there was a big name receiver on the other side of the field. Julio Jones, for example. He had like 2 touchdowns against us. Calvin Ridley, same game. Diggs, Thielen, Cooper. I mean, they're Devontae Adams before he got turf toe. But it's nice knowing that you finally have a guy that can lock up a top tier receiver in the NFL. Because we do play teams like the Saints this year. We do play teams like, Baltimore. And even though, we played Baltimore's division this season. And even though that they don't really have, a great receiver as of right now, other teams in that division do. We play the Browns this year. We play Pittsburgh this year. We play the Bengals this year. They all have, and even the Ravens, they're still a good team. They are a very good team, the Ravens. Even without the receivers. They led the league in rushing yards last year. Lamar Jackson alone is a top-tier talent in the NFL. And Marquise Brown, he's not awful. I'm not going to, he's probably better than our receivers, honestly. So now, knowing that we can go into a game and we can lock up at least one side of the field as for the time being, it really does take a big load off of our backs as Eagles fans to know that, Darius Slay is now out there and he can lock up guys, like I said, like Cooper and Julio Jones and Mike Thomas, who we play this year, Juju, Odell, Jarvis Landry, AJ Green. It's huge. It's huge for us. Now, obviously, the defense isn't complete yet. We still need we still need linebackers. There's just something about linebackers on this team that we just don't like. We just don't like linebackers, I guess. And I still think we need another wide receiver because I think Alshon's time in Philly is done. I mean, he got us a ring. He helped in getting us a ring. But I don't think his time on the Eagles is going to be much longer. And I really can't blame Howie Roseman for wanting to move Alshon because of the length and the amount his contract holds. I really can't blame anybody for trying to get rid of him. But it's going to be hard to get rid of, Alshon Jeffrey because his contract and his speed has diminished so much. He is so slow. He was playing on one leg last year, and I still think he's a very good receiver in this league. I just think he's too slow to be in the offense that we are trying to run with Doug Peterson. And with Carson Wentz as the quarterback, also I think you need some guys that can fly down the field. Like we had Deshaun Jackson. He scored two touchdowns in his opening day. Back with the team with Wentz in his first game. So, if you can get some speed guys on the outside that can track a ball, Aguilar. But, Aguilar's time here is done. Alshon's time here looks to be done. We still have Arcega-Whiteside, who I think he's trash, honestly. I'm not going to lie. I think he's terrible. It really turned out to be last year that Miles Sanders was our best receiver at points, and it was kind of like the Brian Westbrook effect. Like, you could really place him in the backfield or you could place him on the outside, and he could get the job done. But I don't want that. I want a number one receiver. I want a guy like a Julio Jones or an Odell Beckham Jr. And speaking of Julio Jones, there have been rumors and there have been, people on Twitter that have said that the Eagles and the Falcons have been in trade talks, and they said the deal was around Julio Jones. If the Eagles get Julio Jones, I mean, I would freak out, honestly. If the Eagles got Julio Jones somehow, I would freak out. It's Julio Jones. I don't know. Like, he's a top 3 receiver in the NFL, I think. Definitely top 5, if not top 3. He's a very, very, very good receiver. You can throw it up to him, and he's almost always going to come down with the ball. And to have him on one side, Deshaun on the other, and then say you move up in the draft and draft Henry Ruggs. So now you got a guy running a 4.2 something. Deshaun on the outside, Julio on the other side, and Miles Sanders either coming out of the backfield, or either taking the handoff or coming out of the backfield, and then Boston Scott throwing a block. I think Boston Scott is going to play a big role in this team's success next year. I think he's already going to be, the punt returner. Like, I think he's going to take over what Darren Sproles did for this team. Obviously, he's not going to be as good. I think Darren Sproles could be a Hall of Famer. But Boston Scott, I really do think, could be a big piece in the special teams play. And, he could be our third down back. That's what I believe. Because now that you don't have Jordan Howard, you need a guy that's going to hit the hole hard and get you the first down. And I think Boston Scott excelled in that last season. And I think that's why he definitely gets a spot this year on the team. Other rumors that have been thrown around are for defensive end Yannick Ngakoue. He's been a name that has been passed around, obviously, in Jim Schwartz's defense. He likes to pass rush a lot. So if you can get him off the edge with Brandon Graham or Derek Barnett, man, Yannick Ngakoue, he's a very good player. He's a very good player. I'm not going to get into all his stats because, personally, I don't know them. I don't keep track of the Jacksonville Jaguars much. Speaking of the Jaguars, though, Nick Foles was traded yesterday to the Chicago Bears. His last win as an Eagle was actually against the Chicago Bears in the playoffs when double doink happened. So we don't play them we don't play the Bears next season, so we don't have to see Nick Foles. But obviously now with Gardner Minshew, Gardner will be the number 1 quarterback in Jacksonville, and I'm sure Foles and Trubisky are going to fight it out until the last day of training camp, to see who's going to start the season. Because I've seen a lot of reports that said Cam Newton was going to go to the Bears, and now he's not. So I believe that Cam Newton's going to go to the Patriots. It's either going to be him or it's going to be Jameis Winston. I think either one of them are going to wind up in a Patriots uniform. But, that's just my thought and opinion. So, yeah, that's really it for this video. Darius Slay is now a Philadelphia Eagle. We traded a 3rd and a 5th round pick. We still have 8 picks left in this year's draft. We finally find our cornerback number 1. We still need some linebackers, and I think we need a wide receiver. Who knows what's going to happen with Alshon Jeffrey. Darius Slay is a 3-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro, 19 career interceptions. He's 29 years old, and we have him for the next 4 seasons. Yannick Ngakoue is a guy that has been thrown around a couple times, and there have been some reports by not very known Twitter accounts that the Eagles and the Falcons could be in trade talks with wide receiver Julio Jones. Thank you all for watching. That's it for this video. I want to be back later today. Hopefully the Eagles make a splash, or hopefully the Eagles can make another trade and I can come and talk about it. But that's it for this video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace. Also, before I go, we are 4 subscribers away from 200. So let's get to that. Because obviously, giveaway at 200 once this coronavirus stuff is all said and done. I'll have that stuff mailed out to you because I still need to buy it. And my store is closed right now, so I cannot get it. But, again, thank you all for watching. And now I'm really out. Peace.